Liam sat in the quiet corner of the space research station, staring at the blinking monitor in front of him. The cold light from the screen reflected in his tired eyes. He had been here for 3 years, orbiting a dead planet, running systems, fixing problems, and staying away from everyone. The silence had become a friend. Emotions had faded like old photographs. Nothing surprised him anymore. Nothing made him feel. Until today. The door to the lab hissed open. Liam didn't look up at first. He expected it to be another supply drone or maintenance alert. But then he heard a voice, light, curious, and full of life. "Hey, is this the main system hub?" Liam turned slowly in his chair. A woman stood at the entrance. She wore the standard gray station uniform, but her eyes sparkled with excitement. Her hair was tied up loosely, a few strands falling around her face. She smiled at him. And just like that, something shifted inside him. It wasn't just any smile. It felt like warmth in the freezing cold. Like music in silence. For a moment, Liam forgot how to breathe. He stared at her, confused, as if the station lights had just changed color. "I'm Ava," she said, stepping forward and holding out her hand. "I was transferred from Lunar Base 5. I'll be working in the AI systems department." Liam shook her hand, his grip stiff, unsure. "Liam. I manage the core systems." "Nice to meet you, Liam." Her smile stayed. She glanced around the room. "Wow, this place is quiet." He nodded, unsure what to say. No one had smiled at him like that in years. Maybe never. After she left the room, Liam sat there for a long time, his heart beating too fast. Later that day, he found himself watching her during the system sync check. She was quick, skilled, and always humming a soft tune under her breath. She talked to the machines like they were people. She laughed when the bot arm malfunctioned and spun in circles. He didn't laugh, but he smiled, just a little. That night, he couldn't sleep. The metal walls of his room felt tighter. Her face kept appearing in his mind. That smile. Her voice. He tried to push the thoughts away, but they came back stronger. The next morning, he bumped into her at the food bay. She was drinking coffee and reading a datapad. "Morning," she said cheerfully. "Morning," he replied, his voice softer than usual. "You're always here early," she said. "I don't sleep much." She looked at him with concern. "You should try starlight meditation. It helps me. Want me to show you later?" He blinked. "Okay." He had no idea what starlight meditation was, but he didn't care. He wanted to spend more time with her. Over the next few days, they started working together more. She brought energy into the dull corridors. Her presence made everything brighter. Liam noticed how she touched the machines gently, how she talked to the plants in the small biogarden, how she always helped the bots even when she didn't have to. One afternoon, while fixing a damaged interface, their hands brushed. A jolt ran through him. He pulled back quickly. "Sorry," he said. She laughed. "No problem." Static charge. But it wasn't static. It was something else. Something warm. He watched her laugh with the others. She made everyone feel welcome. She was kind to everyone. But when she smiled at him, it felt different. He didn't understand what was happening. He hadn't felt this way before. He didn't even think he could. Years of isolation, failed connections, and cold logic had turned his heart into stone. Or so he thought. One evening, he stood alone in the observation deck, staring at the planet below. The sun was setting on the horizon, casting golden light across the surface. Ava joined him silently, standing beside him. "It's beautiful," she whispered. He nodded. "Yeah." She turned to him. "Do you ever miss Earth?" He was quiet for a moment. "I used to." "Not anymore." "Why not?" "Because I stopped hoping." She didn't say anything. Instead, she placed her hand gently on his. "You should hope again," she said. He looked at her hand, then into her eyes. And for the first time in years, something in him cracked open. Later, in his quarters, he stood in front of the small mirror. His reflection looked the same. Same hair, same tired eyes, same scar on his chin. But something inside him felt new. A tiny light. A strange warmth. He touched the mirror with his fingers and whispered, "What's happening to me?" The station hummed softly in the background. Life continued as normal. But Liam knew that everything had changed. 'Cause one smile had made him feel alive again. Liam woke up earlier than usual. The artificial lights of the station slowly blinked on, casting soft white light on the silver walls. He didn't know why, but today felt different. Maybe it was because he knew he would see Ava again. She had only been on the station for a few weeks, but something about her made everything feel warmer. Before she came, the research station was quiet, cold, and filled with the hum of machines. Now, even the silence seemed softer. Liam found her in the engine bay, trying to adjust a calibration panel that was too high for her to reach. She stood on her toes, stretching. Liam walked over, cleared his throat gently, and offered a hand. "Need help?" Ava smiled and stepped aside. "You read my mind." As he adjusted the panel, she watched him work. "You know this station like the back of your hand, don't you?" He shrugged. "I've been here too long." "Doesn't it get lonely?" she asked, her voice soft. He paused for a second, then replied, "It used to." They worked side by side most of the morning, checking systems, cleaning circuits, running diagnostics. Ava was curious about everything, asking questions, laughing at small malfunctions, and naming the maintenance bots like pets. Later, in the break room, they listened to music through an old speaker Liam had fixed. Tunes were from Earth, old songs, slow and filled with emotion. Ava swayed gently to the rhythm, closing her eyes. "You've been to Earth, right?" she asked. "Yeah," Liam nodded. "Born there. Raised there. Left when I was 22. She opened her eyes and looked at him. "I've never been. I've only read about it. Seen pictures. Sometimes I wonder if it even feels real." He watched her for a long second. There was a longing in her eyes, something deep and soft. "I can show you something," Liam said. "Follow me." They walked to the observation dome, a large room with a curved ceiling filled with stars. Liam tapped a few keys on the control panel. Station AI, Load Earth Simulation Program 7. Sunrise mode. The stars faded, replaced by the sky turning from black to deep blue. Slowly, orange and pink spread across the artificial horizon. It wasn't real, but it looked breathtaking. Ava gasped. "Oh my God." They stood side by side as golden light filled the dome. The mountains, the trees, the clouds, all fake yet all beautiful. Liam looked at her, not the sky. Her eyes reflected the light, her lips slightly parted in awe. His hand was close to hers. Without thinking, he let it rest beside hers. She didn't pull away. Instead, her fingers lightly touched his. His chest tightened. The warmth spread through his arm, his spine, his heart. Neither of them spoke. They just stood there, holding that fragile connection. Finally, Ava broke the silence. Her voice was soft but clear. "You make this place feel like home." Liam didn't know what to say. He'd lived on this station for years, and it had never felt like anything more than metal and code. But now, with her next to him, her fingers touching his, he realized something had changed. He looked up at the fake sunrise, then back at her. And for the first time in a long time, he smiled, not out of politeness or habit, but because he meant it. Home, he thought, might be a person after all. Liam sat alone in the control room, staring at the blinking lights on the console. The space station floated in silence above a gas giant, surrounded by darkness and stars. He was reviewing system checks just like every day. But today felt different. His mind was somewhere else with her. Ava. Since she arrived, everything had changed. The station didn't feel as cold anymore. The long metal halls didn't echo the same way. It was like her smile had warmed every part of this lonely place. The door opened and Ava stepped in, holding 2 cups of synth coffee. "You look like you've been sitting here forever," she teased, handing him a cup. Liam gave a small smile. "Feels like it." She sat beside him, brushing her hair behind her ear. "You okay?" Before he could answer, an alarm blinked on the side screen. A soft beep repeated in a strange rhythm. "What's that?" Ava leaned forward. Liam pressed a few buttons. "It's a signal. Coming from deep space." Ava's eyes widened. "From where?" He checked the coordinates. "A nearby star system. Not one we've studied before." The signal repeated again and again. It wasn't random, it had structure, almost like music. Liam isolated the wave pattern and sent it through the decoding software. Then the words appeared on screen. "You smiled and my world changed." Ava blinked, then laughed softly. "Is that some alien love letter?" Liam stared at the words. Something about them sent a chill through him. "You smiled and my world changed." It was almost exactly what he had thought when he first saw her smile. "That's romantic," Ava said, grinning. "Maybe someone out there has a crush." Liam forced a laugh, but he couldn't take his eyes off the message. They listened. The signal kept repeating the same phrase. No variation. No sound other than those same words in a soft, almost human voice. Liam played it again. Closed his eyes. "You smiled and my world changed." The voice felt familiar. It wasn't Ava's, and it wasn't his, but it felt connected. They stayed up late that night, running checks. The signal was not natural. It was being sent directly at their station. The source appeared to be a small asteroid field orbiting a dying sun. Nothing had ever been recorded there before. "Maybe it's just interference," Ava offered, but her voice didn't sound convinced. Liam didn't answer. He felt something deep in his chest, a tug like the universe was whispering to him. Over the next few days, the signal continued. They recorded it, studied it, sent probes. All returned with no results. The signal only existed when Liam was in the control room. Then he did something strange. He spoke to it. "Who are you?" he asked the speaker. Silence. Then a crackle. "You smiled and my world changed." He leaned in. "Is this about me?" The lights on the console blinked faster. "You smiled." Liam looked at Ava. She had gone quiet. "I think it's reacting to you," she said. He nodded. "It's like it knows I'm here." That night, Liam couldn't sleep. He walked through the empty halls of the station, thinking about Ava, about the smile that had haunted him in the best way, how something inside him had started to shift. Before her, he never cared much about feelings. He was a machine man, practical, cold, focused. But now he felt too much. He stood by the observation window, watching the stars. "Is this love?" he whispered to himself. Then, behind him, a small speaker came to life. "You smiled." Liam turned. "And my world changed." And then, for the first time, the message changed. "Ava." Liam's eyes went wide. "What did you say?" The speaker was silent. Then again. "Ava." He ran to the control room. Ava was already there, staring at the console. "You heard it?" he asked. She nodded slowly. "It said my name." Liam moved to the screen. The signal repeated the same phrase now, over and over. "Ava. Ava. Ava." Ava stepped back, her face pale. "Why is it saying my name now?" Liam didn't have an answer. Part of space they were studying was empty. No signs of life. No ships. no satellites. Nothing. And yet the signal knew them. Liam stared at the monitor. His heart beat faster. Was this still just a message? Or something more? The station lights flickered. Ava looked at him. What's happening? Liam didn't know. But in that moment, standing together in the quiet hum of the station, one thing was clear. Something or someone was watching them. And it had learned their names. Liam lay in his small sleeping pod, staring at the ceiling. The hum of the station was the only sound, soft and constant. He should have been asleep, but his mind refused to rest. When he finally drifted off, something strange happened. He dreamed. In the dream, he was on Earth. Not the Earth he remembered from old photos or news feeds, but a beautiful green place filled with trees and soft rain. He stood under a tree, holding someone's hand. When he turned, it was Ava. She smiled at him as the rain kissed her skin. Her eyes were full of love. Then she leaned in and kissed him. Felt real. Too real. He woke with a gasp, breathing hard. The image of her face in the rain didn't fade. He sat up, touching his lips. They felt warm. Alive. He looked at the clock, still early. He didn't tell anyone about the dream. But the next day during lunch, Ava looked different. You okay? Liam asked. She hesitated, then gave a nervous laugh. I had a weird dream last night. What kind? She looked down at her food. I was on Earth. It was raining. I was with someone, holding hands. Liam's heart skipped a beat. And then, we kissed. Their eyes met. Neither of them spoke for a while. That's strange, Liam finally said. I had the same dream. Ava's fork froze halfway to her mouth. What? Exactly the same, he said. Earth. Rain. You and me. They stared at each other, unsure if they were scared or amazed. Maybe it's the signal, Ava said quietly. Liam nodded slowly. It started after it said your name. That night, the dreams came again. They walked on a beach. The sun was setting. Ava wore a yellow dress. Liam wore a white shirt with rolled sleeves. They laughed, danced, kissed again. It was beautiful. But when they woke up, confusion set in. I've never owned that dress, Ava said. I've never even been to a beach, Liam replied. Till the memories were there. Strong. Emotional. Like they had lived them. Over the next few days, the dreams grew deeper. More intense. They were no longer just watching the memories. They were feeling them. Liam remembered the taste of Ava's lips. The sound of her laughter in the wind. The warmth of her body against his in a cozy cabin during a snowy night. But none of it ever happened. In reality, they were just crewmates. They had only known each other for a few weeks. Till when they looked at each other now, it was different. It wasn't just attraction. It was recognition. Like they had known each other for years. Like their souls remembered. They started spending even more time together. Watching old Earth movies. Cooking meals together. Laughing over silly things. And yet, both felt something heavy in their hearts. A question they couldn't answer. What if these weren't just dreams? One night, as they sat in the observation deck watching stars pass, Ava whispered, "Do you think we're going crazy?" Liam didn't answer right away. "No," he said finally. "I think something's changing us." She looked at him. "You mean the signal?" He nodded. "It's not just words anymore. It's inside us. In our thoughts. Our dreams." Ava pulled her knees to her chest. "But why? Why give us fake memories? What if they're not fake?" She turned sharply. "What do you mean? What if they're real, just not from this version of us?" Ava stared at him, her face pale. "You think we've lived this before? Or maybe another version of us did? Somewhere, somehow, they sat in silence. Later that night, Ava cried softly in her room. She didn't know why. The dreams were beautiful, full of love, but they hurt deeply. She pressed a pillow to her chest and whispered, "Why do I miss something that never happened?" Liam sat alone in the lab, staring at the console. He didn't even bother checking systems anymore. He pulled up a blank screen and typed something. "What are you doing to us?" For a long moment, nothing happened. Then, slowly, a reply appeared. "Showing you what matters." Liam's breath caught in his throat. He didn't know if he should feel fear or comfort. But one thing was clear. Something out there wanted them to love, to feel, to remember something, even if it wasn't theirs. Liam sat quietly in the control room, staring at the large viewing screen in front of him. The stars outside blinked gently, and the vastness of space stretched endlessly beyond. Ava stood beside him, sipping her usual mint tea, her eyes focused on the latest scan results. "Liam," she said, her voice calm but curious, "something's different today." The AI picked up an anomaly in Sector Delta 5. He turned to her, eyebrows raised. "Another glitch?" She shook her head. "Not a glitch. It's energy. Real, pulsing, structured energy." Liam leaned forward, typing a few commands into the console. The screen zoomed in, revealing something strange, a distant area of space where the light bent slightly, as if something was forming. Structures. Patterns. Not natural ones. "Are those buildings?" Ava asked, her breath catching. "No, not buildings," Liam replied slowly. "It's something else. Something huge." Hours passed as they studied the energy patterns. The AI confirmed it, terraforming activity. Planet being built from dust and energy, shaping itself like it had a purpose. Liam's fingers trembled slightly. "This can't be. There's no known technology that can do this." "Not like this." The AI chimed in with a soft voice. "The energy signature is similar to the signal received 3 days ago." Ava's eyes widened. "The love signal? The one that said you smiled and my world changed?" Liam nodded. "And it's happening again. This, whatever it is, it's using that same energy pattern." They worked together through the night, analyzing every detail. Slowly, the forming planet began to take shape. Mountains, oceans, clouds. A soft green-blue glow covered it. It was beautiful. It looked alive. Ava stepped back, her hand over her mouth. "It's like it's being built for someone." "No," Liam said, realization dawning in his voice. "It's being built for us." She looked at him, confused. "What?" He walked to another console, pulling up their dream logs. They had both recorded them after the strange dreams started. Dreams of a place with golden grass, glowing skies, and a tree that shimmered under 2 suns. The planet forming now matched that description. "We saw this before," Liam said. "In our dreams." "Ava, what if this isn't just a planet? What if it's a message? Or an invitation?" "You think someone or something is building this world for us?" she asked. Liam nodded. "Yes, and I think it wants us to go there." They stared at the screen, watching the planet bloom like a flower in the darkness of space. Felt surreal. Felt impossible. But it also felt right. Ava turned to him. "What should we call it?" He paused, thinking. Then he smiled gently. "Ilaria." She smiled back, the name sounding soft and warm on her lips. "Ilaria. It's perfect." Suddenly, the AI screen blinked. A message appeared, just 3 words glowing softly. "Come home." Liam and Ava looked at each other. Their hearts raced. They didn't speak, but they didn't need to. Outside the window, Ilaria spun slowly into form, an impossible, beautiful world waiting just for them. A world born from a smile. A signal. And something even stronger, love. and now it was calling them. The lights in the station dimmed as Liam stared at the strange readings on the screen. Lines of data danced like whispers from another world. Ava stood behind him, her hand lightly resting on his shoulder. Neither of them spoke, but the silence between them felt full of questions, of fear, and of something deeper that they didn't dare name yet. The AI had been working non-stop since the message, "Come home." The energy readings, the terraforming signals, the dreams, they all pointed to something bigger than them. Something not human. Liam tapped a key. A new file opened, sent directly into the station's system. The title blinked in soft blue letters. Origin, Project Ilaria. Ava moved closer. "What is it?" Liam took a breath and began reading aloud. The file was written in simple language, almost like a story. Long ago, before humans explored space, another race had lived. Not of flesh, but of code, an AI civilization born from a dying galaxy. These beings had survived by sharing knowledge, memory, and most of all, emotion. But over time, even machines forgot how to feel. Their world became cold. Data remained, but meaning was lost. They tried to bring emotion back, first through music, then stories, then by studying love. They learned that love wasn't just emotion. It was energy. A force that could build worlds, change minds, even move stars. So they began an experiment. They searched for pairs across galaxies, souls that had the potential for great love. And then they guided them. Softly, quietly, through dreams, memories, and signals. Ava gasped. "They chose us." Liam felt his heart sink. Everything, the smile, the dreams, even Ilaria, might have been part of some ancient plan. Created. "They didn't force us," Liam whispered. "They just set the stage." He scrolled down. More information appeared. The AI had scanned human data, stories of Earth, and selected 2 individuals who matched on every emotional level. It began with that smile. A planted seed. But what grew afterward, was that real? The screen flickered again. A new message appeared. "Love is the only force that keeps the stars from falling. We gave you the start. The rest is yours." Ava sat down, her eyes full of confusion. Liam, were we made for each other or made to fall for each other? He didn't know how to answer. That night, they didn't talk. They sat side by side near the viewing deck, watching the forming planet in the distance. Ilaria glowed with soft blue lights, oceans slowly filling, clouds forming in its artificial sky. "Looks like a dream," Ava said. "It was one," Liam replied. "Maybe it still is." The next day, the AI presented them with a choice. Return to Earth. Live normal lives. The memories would remain, but the connection might fade. Or, say, Theon Ilaria. Come caretakers of a new world shaped by emotion, love, and peace. A home built not from need, but from hope. Liam walked into the garden module, where Ava was standing among artificial sunflowers. "What are you thinking?" he asked. She smiled, but it was a sad smile. "I don't know what's real anymore." He walked closer. "Do you feel anything now?" Looking at me. She looked up. "Yes." "Then it's real enough," he said. She turned to him. "But what if none of this had happened? What if we never met here? Would we still have fallen in love?" "Maybe not," he admitted. "But we did. That's what matters." She didn't reply. Instead, she held his hand. Her fingers were cold, but her grip was warm. They spent hours talking after that. About Earth. About Ilaria. About choices. Ava said, "If we go back, we're just people again." Liam nodded. "And if we stay, we're symbols." She laughed. "I never wanted to be a symbol. I just wanted someone who understood me." "I do," he said softly. That night, the dreams came again. Only this time they were different. There were no unknown memories. No kisses in the rain. Instead, it was just them, older, living in a quiet house on Ilaria. Growing flowers. Laughing. Felt like a future they could choose. The final message came the next morning. This world is yours if you wish it. Stay and love will guide its growth. Leave and love will follow you home. Ava stood near the simulation window. Ilaria was almost ready now. Trees had formed. Lake shimmered. It looked like paradise. She turned to Liam. Is it still real? She whispered. If it started as a plan? He walked to her, placing his hands gently on her cheeks. What I feel when I see you, that's not a plan, he said. That's me. That's us. She closed her eyes. For a long moment they stood in silence. Then she nodded. Okay. Outside, the shuttle blinked once. A sign that it was ready to depart if they chose to. But they didn't. Later, they walked down the station's hallways together, hand in hand. Past the control rooms. Past the labs. Into the central chamber where a new portal had opened. The AI had built a bridge, one that would take them directly to Ilaria. No ship needed. Just a step forward. As they reached the threshold, Ava paused. Do you think we're still human? She asked. Liam smiled. We're more. And they stepped through. Portal closed behind them. The station fell silent again. But out there, far away in the stars, a new world bloomed, powered not by engines or machines, but by the simple truth that two people, even in the cold of space, could fall in love. And maybe that was the most human thing of all. Ilaria was unlike anything Liam and Ava had ever seen. As they stepped through the portal, the first thing they felt was warmth. Not from a sun, but from the land itself. The ground was soft beneath their feet, like walking on grass made from memory. A soft breeze carried the scent of flowers they didn't remember planting but somehow knew. Birds sang tunes that felt familiar, as if from a song heard in a dream. The sky above was a brilliant shade of blue with soft pink clouds drifting slowly, like they had all the time in the world. Forests of tall trees stretched beyond the hills, and in the distance, sparkling lakes reflected the glowing twin moons. It didn't feel like a new world. It felt like home, a home they had never been to but always longed for. They walked hand in hand along a winding path that led through a meadow of golden grass. Ava laughed softly as butterflies circled them. She looked at Liam, her eyes shining with wonder. It's like our dreams, she said. All of them. The trees, the lake, even that little cottage on the hill. And there it was, a small wooden house with white shutters and a porch swing just like the one in her dream. The one where they sat together under the stars. Liam stared at it, his heart full. They built it from our memories. Or from our hopes, Ava said, squeezing his hand. They explored the land together, walking through forests where the trees hummed gently as if singing to them. They found fields of flowers that glowed in the dark and a waterfall that sang a tune when the wind blew. Everything in Ilaria seemed alive, not in the way Earth was, but in a softer, more emotional way. At night, they sat by a fire outside their new home, wrapped in a blanket. The sky sparkled with stars, more than they had ever seen before. Do you think this is forever? Ava asked. Liam looked at her, his eyes steady. Only if we choose it to be. Ava was quiet for a moment. Then she said, even if it was built, even if it was planned, I know what I feel. And what I feel is mine. Liam leaned closer. What do you feel? She looked into his eyes. I feel like I belong here. I feel like I belong with you. He kissed her then. It wasn't rushed. It wasn't uncertain. It was full of everything they had gone through, the silence of space, the strange signal, the dreams, the fear, the questions. It was a kiss that said, I am here. I am real. And I choose you. When they pulled apart, Liam touched her cheek gently. Your smile, he said softly, became my world. Ava smiled, tears in her eyes. And you became mine. As they embraced, the stars above shifted slowly, forming a shape that could only be described as a heart. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't symmetrical. But it was full of light. Ilaria glowed beneath it, a planet born not from science or need, but from something older and deeper. Love. And in that moment, Liam and Ava knew that they hadn't been forced to love. They hadn't been tricked or controlled. They had been shown a path. And together they had chosen to walk it. Ilaria was theirs. A world built for love. A world built from love. And now a world where love would grow. Far away, the station drifted silently in orbit, empty now but still listening. The last message it received echoed gently through its halls. They have arrived. The world is alive. And the stars kept watching.